When you check your mailbox, you often see flyers and coupons mixed in with your letters and bills.
In some San Diego neighborhoods, those advertisements litter the streets everywhere, whether they request them or not.
Our chief meteorologist, Carlene Chavis, visited some communities where this isn't just an eyesore, but an environmental issue.
We're seeing more and more of these piling up in our neighborhoods. So basically, you have this paper, it's advertisements on the inside. What is it slicked in? It's slicked in plastic. Plastic doesn't break down, and so this is an issue that we are seeing popping up all across San Diego County, and this is what it eventually turns into: waste.
A lot of them land in the street, a lot of them land in the gutter, sidewalks. When it rains, they wash out to our storm drains, they wash out to our bays and beaches, and at some point we're swimming in this stuff.
And Dan would know. He rolls through his Bay Park neighborhood with a trash picker and bucket, just cruising through and ready to swipe up any that he finds that are not on private property. Which isn't hard because they are often found littering the streets.
Thank you. Well, as if it was just thrown out of a car, it rarely makes it to the private property, so it's an advertisement. And you know, I kind of enjoy looking at a coupon every now and then too, but it's mostly some businesses and grocery stores, and it's paper, but the main thing is this plastic bag, and as you know, plastic film is very difficult to recycle. You can't put it into your blue bin. You actually have to collect enough of it and take it to one of your grocery stores, and they usually have a bin, and then it's shipped somewhere and melted down and maybe made into a plastic chair as a second life.
That's Mark O'Connor with the Surfrider Foundation chapter in San Diego and a lead on the Rise Above Plastics program, which works to eliminate plastic waste in our county. He and Dan want to stop the distribution of this plastic waste in San Diego. Dan isn't alone. People in this City Heights neighborhood are just as annoyed with the unwanted flyers.
I can't imagine any other situation in which somebody could just throw trash at your house and that would be okay or authorized in some way.
Shannon Starkey recalls the waste piling up around the time of the COVID lockdowns. And every Tuesday, fresh flyers slicked in plastic are added to the ones already lying in the streets.
This is probably a couple weeks old here, and it sits here, and sometimes these go on. I mean, we just cleaned up the neighborhood, and it's just perpetual. As soon as we finish picking them up, another week comes by and there's another 17,000 pounds of trash in the neighborhood.
Jess also lives in this City Heights neighborhood and is fed up. Jess, along with Dan, contacted the advertising company to opt out, but they said it didn't work.
I contacted Veracast and they said, oh, you can opt out, but they're still delivering them even though you opt out. So I think it should be mandatory that you can't throw plastic bags into the street. It's littering. And if somebody wants them, then they should opt in and they should mail it to you.
This was pulled out of a storm drain right here.
I reached out to the city attorney's office regarding this issue. I was informed that California Penal Code section 556.1 states a business may distribute its advertising flyers in residential neighborhoods by placing them on the driveways, in the yards, or at the front doors of homes without the express consent of the residents.
That shouldn't be in our waterways or our beaches.
But each person I spoke with echoed the same response. Most of the time, the flyers are not making it to private property and are polluting the streets and gutters, which is troublesome, especially during the rainy season. The city attorney's office advises them to consult attorneys about their legal rights with respect to the advertising company or companies involved.
And I'm not even really sure if the businesses know that these are getting thrown into the street.
I reached out to the environmental compliance manager with Vons and Albertsons, who advertises with Veracast a couple of times with no answer. I'm also waiting on a response from Veracast. But in the meantime,
If someone's walking around, they see it in the street, they should pick it up. Like I said, people walk by it in their own driveway, but it'd be nice if someone could pick it up out of the street. That's obviously going the extra mile, but that would be helpful.
Helpful indeed. For CBS 8, I'm Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis.
Mark O'Connor with the Surfrider Foundation also suggests picking up the flyers, taking them to one of the stores that advertises with Veracast, and then asking the manager to stop.